Dear students, we are going to start our Good Samaritan School online class for class 9E Science. And in our last class, we have learned about the Galileo's experiment, and then we have seen the different types of forces like balanced forces, unbalanced forces. And today we are going to start the topic that is named as the Newton's law of motion. Today we will learn the topic that is named as Newton's first law of motion. What Newton has told, Sir Isaac Newton, what he has told in his first law of motion. You can see it here, two types of balls are present here. One ball is in the resting condition and another ball is in the uniform motion. This ball is in uniform motion and this ball is in the resting condition. So what Newton, Sir Isaac Newton has said, he stated like that when anything is in its resting condition and when any object will be in its uniform motion condition, and if you will not apply any kind of unbalanced force on it, both of the object will have the tendency to remain in its own place. That means the object which is in its resting condition, they will have the tendency to be in the resting condition, and the object which will have the uniform motion on it, that object will have the tendency to be in its uniform motion only. Okay. Now come here, you can see the first topic and first law of motion that we can you can see it here, and this type of experiment is called as the inertia. So what is inertia? Basically the inertia is the tendency of the body to continue in state of rest even when some external unbalanced force is applied on it. This is called as the inertia of rest. That means you can see it here in that experiment that the coin is kept on that page, and when you are pulling the page, what is happening? The coin is not going with the page. The coin is falling inside the glass. Why it is like that? Because the coin is having the tendency to stay in the resting condition. That's why it is falling inside the glass. It is not going with the paper. Okay, this is called as the inertia of rest. Now in the next one, you can see the inertia of motion. So what is happening in the inertia of motion? When your body is in the motion, okay, whenever your body will be in the motion, so in that condition, what will happen? Your body will have the tendency to be in the motion. If it will stop in any reason, then what will happen? Our body can fall here. Like in this experiment, you can see when that man is traveling by the car and when the car is getting stopped, that means the car is having the uniform motion. So the man is also having the uniform motion. So when the car is getting stopped by the pillar, what is happening? The man is going just in the forward direction because of the inertia of motion. Now the third one is the inertia of direction. What is the meaning of inertia of direction? So every object, when it will go with its own velocity and in its own direction, always it will try to keep its original direction. Okay, here you can see that when the knife is getting sharpened, so what is happening? The wheel is moving in a very fast motion, and when you are keeping your knife here and in the opposite direction, so here you can see the fire is sparkling. Why it is like that? Because of the inertia of direction. Here also you can see when the car is moving with the uniform direction, the wheel is moving in a round, means it is the wheel is moving in a rim. So if suddenly the water is coming here, what is happening? The water is splashing. So this is the inertia of direction. That means the tendency of the object to oppose any change in its direction is called as the inertia of direction. Now the next point is called as the linear momentum. So what is the meaning of linear momentum? Actually, the linear momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So mass you all know, and the velocity also you know. Mass and velocity, that means the linear momentum, it will be the product of mass and velocity. M means mass and V means velocity. So as the velocity, it is the product of mass and velocity, so you can say that it is a vector quantity. So we can say it here, the product can be a vector. Okay, so momentum is directly proportional to the object's mass and the velocity. So if the mass will be increased, automatically the momentum will also be increased, and if the velocity will also be increased, the product of the linear momentum will also be increased. So thus the greater an object's mass and greater its velocity, the greater will be the momentum. So suppose you think one object is having the mass of m1 and it is moving with the velocity of v1. Another object that is having the mass of m2 and the velocity is the v2. So which object will be going more fast? So what you can say? Here you can see the mass of the object, that is the m1. Okay, that will be different from the m2. Okay, so here the m2 is bigger, and the velocity like v1 and v2, so if it will be different, then the product can also be different. So that means p1 equal to, it will be m1 v1, and here the P2 for that object, it will be M2 V2. So what will be here? So what is here? So that means if it will be greater, so it will have the greater momentum, and if it will be greater, then it will have the greater momentum. That means you have to simply take the value of the M1 V1 or M2 V2. Okay, so here in the vector quantity, both will have the magnitude and direction. Okay, so what will be the velocity, direction of the velocity? That will be the direction of the linear momentum. And magnitude means here it is the modulus. So what is the meaning of modulus? We have to ignore the negative values. Okay, so whatever positive value will be there in the M and V, that value only you have to take in the product of linear momentum. So what will be the SI unit here? As the SI unit of the mass is kg, so it will be kg, and the SI unit of the velocity is meter per second. So that's why the SI unit will be the product of M and V, that is kg into meter per second. So this is called as the linear momentum. Okay, जैसे here you can think one thing, one example I want to give you. Suppose any lighter object that will have more velocity, and the object, if it will be heavy, it will have the less velocity. Why it is like that? Just because of this formula. P linear momentum, as it is based on the mass and velocity both. So if the mass will be heavy, the velocity will be less. If the mass is big, means mass will be very heavy, automatically the velocity will be less. Or if the mass is less, then the velocity will be high. So that's why the lighter object can have the big velocity, and the heavier objects are having the lower velocity. So this is up to today's class. In the next class we will start with the second law of motion of Sir Isaac Newton. Thank you very much.